Inside this refugee tent in the stifling heat, Aria, not her real name, goes about her daily chores. This is not a burden, but rather a distraction from what this 15-year-old Yazidi has suffered and endured. She asks her parents to leave. She doesn't want to talk about what happened to her in front of them. 6 weeks ago, the family fled their home in Sinjar, northern Iraq, as ISIS stormed in. A convoy of vehicles with black flags drove past them. Minutes later, they were surrounded. They forced us out of the car, explains Aria. The girls and women were separated from the men, but they only took the girls, forcing us into a minivan. From Sinjar, Aria says they were driven 120 kilometres to the ISIS stronghold of Mosul and locked in a 3-storey house with dozens of other teenage girls who'd been captured. For more than 3 weeks they were kept here. During this time, a sheikh came and collected 20 girls, including her 14-year-old sister-in-law. He forced himself on her. I was so scared. A lot of my friends were raped. It's hard to talk about it. Sexual abuse is a taboo subject in this culture, and to admit being a victim is unheard of. And while Aria claims she wasn't raped, this visibly traumatised girl has been through much more than she's willing to admit. I see their faces all the time. I have nightmares. I can't stop thinking about how they force themselves onto the girls. I have seen and been through too much. Aria's story is just one story in one tent among the thousands here. And there is a growing body of evidence of the crimes being committed by ISIS against Yazidi girls and women, aimed at shattering and tearing apart these communities. Aria and her friend were taken to Fallujah by 2 ISIS militants she calls Abu Hassan and Abu Jaffar. They forced us to marry them, threatening to hurt us if we didn't. They gave us a phone to call our families to tell them we'd converted. Aria says they secretly called her friend's uncle, who knew people in Fallujah, prepared to help. When the militants left the house, the girls dressed in niqabs escaped to a safe house. I never thought I would be freed from ISIS. I'm happy to be with my mother and father, but I found out my brother was killed. ISIS shot him when they took me. Everyone at this camp knows what happened to Aria, but her shame is dwarfed by her guilt after learning what her freedom meant for the other girls. They raped them as punishment because we escaped. They tightened security so no girls can escape anymore. Anna Corrin, CNN, Hunka refugee camp, northern Iraq.